Yo, 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 what it is, we is back. Another day on Keep It G News. Told y'all. Don't nobody want to listen, man. What did I say about Traplore Ross? Way before the court even started, I said, yo, he don't need to be there. Don't need to be there. And ever since he's been there, there's been issues. He had ran into duty law. The Muslim brothers pressed him. Now, it done went over top of all of them. Because the defense teams of OTF Dede and Lord Durk pulled Traplore Ross in the hallway. And they talked to him real loud.
Wow, I cannot believe what just happened inside the courthouse. This isn't even about Durk. This one's actually about me. There's been a very controversial post that has been going around. Everybody's very upset that I basically did a tweet about that post that Dede had reshared. All right. The prosecution had worded it in a way that it sounded like Dede had posted it. And I posted that on Twitter. I came back and Dede's lawyer spent a whole hour breaking down in meticulous detail how this was a repost. It wasn't an original post. Dede hadn't typed the post. He had reposted it into a group chat. It was that post that said, at Quando Rondo, we're your pipe at gang. He had reposted it into a chat along with his own comment, basically saying he looking crazy. Like he basically, it was he playing crazy, right? So as soon as I got out of court after hearing Dede's lawyer argue that point very, very well, maybe a little bit too well, maybe the point had already come home before, you know, he talked about it for a much longer time than he needed to talk about it. And I felt like he might have brought more attention to the fact that that was a bit of an unsavory thing to repost. I posted that. As soon as I got out, I said Dede's lawyer just clapped back. But for some reason, it seems like the people at the courthouse, the people that have been following this case, and Durk's team specifically, they're not reading everything. They're over here reading the transcripts, but they're not reading all of my tweets. So everybody was upset about the tweet that I posted when I got out the courtroom the first time. Nobody had talked about the second tweet where I said that Dede's lawyer just clapped back. And I got confronted by Lil Durk's PR woman. She screamed in my face outside the courtroom, delete the tweet. I said, what do you mean? Like, what about Dede's lawyer talking for an hour about, you know, basically making the point? I said, I came out the courtroom. I was given the impression that Dede had posted it. Dede's lawyer went back into the courtroom. He made it very clear. He made a very long, extended, maybe an overextended argument about why that wasn't the case. He got his point home. He got his point further than home, right? He got the point so far home that he might have, you know, left it on screen a little bit too long and made things look a little bit bad. Durk's PR person said, I'm not talking about that. We're not talking about that. So they're just ignoring the facts. They're pressing me over stuff that's like incomplete information. I'm just coming out the courtroom, giving you guys the updates as soon as I possibly can. Yes, sometimes the prosecution are going to say things that aren't true. Sometimes the defense are going to say things that aren't true. Brian Steele said several things that are absolutely false when he was doing cross-examination just now. He referred to King Von as K. Von Bennett numerous times. That's not his name. Is anyone going to call out Brian Steele for getting that wrong? No, of course they're not, right? He made a bunch of other mistakes. He said that Quando Rondo had crowned and anointed Lil Tim as King Tim after the killing of King Von. No, he didn't. It was a random other rapper from Savannah, Georgia that put that out after King Von died. And then he also said numerous times that King Von was murdered. Was not a murder. The prosecution made it very clear it was a self-defense killing. Yes, he was charged with murder, but it was not proven as a murder. So no one's going to talk about Brian Steele literally getting up in the courtroom and lying. People want to get onto me for making a tweet and then basically updating you when I heard from Dede's lawyer. It's insane.
Now all this is centered around Traplore Ross putting out fake, fabricated, false information. He's not understanding that you are a reporter. You're there to report. We don't need your perspective. Because I think when it comes down to Traplore Ross giving his perspective to this case, he about 0-5. Every point he makes in this case is either a flat out lie or just seriously biased. Now with this situation, we talking about the text messages that got revealed that the feds initially, you know, before all the facts came out, before it was tried in court, said came from Dede, and Dede sent Quando Rondo messages talking about hold your pipe or where was your pipe at, whatever it said. Whole time that's not what happened. Whole time this is a reshare. OTF Dede never sent this to Quando Rondo, to my knowledge. But since Traplore Ross don't know the law, since Traplore Ross doesn't understand the culture, since Traplore Ross does a piss poor job with presenting the evidence as it may. He just want to be first. And when you want to be first, a lot of times you're going to end up last. Isn't that what they say in the Bible? But anyway, Traplore Ross is not concerned about getting information correctly. He just want to be the first one to present the information. And a lot of times, like I said, when you want to be the first one to present the information, you're going to be one to get it wrong. I made the mistake before. You understand? But with this type of situation, when you got a live trial going on that garnered this much media attention, you can't put out fabricated news and then retract it. No, y'all. That's not how that goes. You know, because the lie always rings louder than the truth. So you got to get it right the first time. And time again, when it comes out of this trial, Traplore Ross has been getting it wrong. You go back to some of the lies we did. He getting it wrong. He's missing key facts that need to be presented, especially if it's in defense of Durk. It looked like to me Traplore Ross has an agenda. I don't know if he's federally connected, but it looks like it, based off of how he's presenting the facts to the people. And he deserved to be called out for it. And he need to get it right, or he need to get on, because I don't think he belongs there anyway. Like, it's a difference when you actually are invested in this culture. It's a difference when you actually care about the situation, as opposed to when you're just trying to monetize and make a couple of hours off of it. Especially when you're giving your perspective or your perception of the evidence. It'd be different if he was just saying, this is what the defense said, this is what the prosecution said, have at it. Let the people characterize it and digest it the way the people digest it. Keep your perspective out of it. We don't need it. We don't want it. And for the most part, we don't even like it. But let me know how y'all feel about it in the comments. It's another day, keep it G News, and I'm out.